How Barbra Streisand, Faye Dunaway, and others missed out on Cabaret. When we think of the iconic film Cabaret, our minds often drift to the unforgettable performances of Liza Minnelli as Sally Bowles and Joel Grey as the Master of Ceremonies. However, the journey to casting these roles was anything but straightforward. The original casting choices for this seminal film reveal a fascinating intersection of talent, vision, and circumstance that ultimately shaped the movie's legacy. Initially, the role of Sally Bowles was offered to a range of established actresses, each bringing their own unique flair to the character. Among them was the legendary Barbra Streisand, who was riding high on the success of her Broadway career. Streisand's powerful voice and magnetic stage presence made her a prime candidate, but her commitment to other projects ultimately prevented her from taking on the role. Then there was the equally captivating Faye Dunaway, whose star was on the rise. Dunaway had a certain intensity that could have brought a different dimension to Sally, but she too was unable to commit, leaving the door open for others. Interestingly, the filmmakers also considered several lesser-known actresses, tapping into a pool of emerging talent. One such name was Jill Haworth, who had already made her mark on Broadway in the original production of Cabaret. Haworth's experience with the character gave her an edge, and she was ultimately cast in the stage version. However, when it came to the film adaptation, her name was overshadowed by the likes of Minnelli, who at the time was a rising star but not yet the household name she would become. The role of the MC, played by Joel Grey, also had its share of casting drama. Originally, the filmmakers envisioned a more flamboyant figure, someone who could embody the wild spirit of the Weimar Republic. Names like Gene Wilder were floated around, and while Wilder was undoubtedly talented, his comedic style led the producers to reconsider their direction. They sought someone who could seamlessly blend humor with a darker, more sinister undertone. Grey, already an accomplished Broadway performer, stepped into the role with a unique blend of charm and menace that transformed the character into an unforgettable icon. His portrayal became a defining aspect of the film, cementing his place in cinematic history. As the casting process unfolded, the tension between the original vision and the evolving landscape of Hollywood became increasingly apparent. The film was set against the backdrop of a tumultuous era, both politically and socially, and the casting choices reflected a desire to capture that complexity. The filmmakers were acutely aware that they needed actors who could not only perform, but also resonate with the changing attitudes of the 1970s audience. This led to a more nuanced approach, one that ultimately favored Minnelli, whose ability to convey vulnerability and resilience made her the perfect choice for the role of Sally Bowles. The chemistry between Minnelli and Grey added another layer to the film. Their performances were not just about individual talent. They were about creating a world where the characters could thrive. The original casting choices, while intriguing, ultimately led to a dynamic pairing that would become synonymous with Cabaret. Their interpretations of the material injected new life into the story, allowing the film to transcend its stage origins. In retrospect, the casting of Cabaret serves as a testament to the unpredictable nature of filmmaking. The choices made, the names considered, and the talent ultimately selected all contributed to a cultural phenomenon that has endured through the decades. The film's legacy is a reminder that sometimes the path to greatness is paved with unexpected detours and the willingness to embrace the unknown. It's a narrative woven into the very fabric of cinema history, celebrating the serendipity of casting and the lasting impact of artistry.